Hello.
Hello. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Good. Okay, what's going on? How's your week? How are your exams?
Mm, which one? I
Uh,
forgot.
all well, for the most part, all of them. I mean, like your physics and all that. How did those a Chinese exam? How did all those go?
Physics and chemistry, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chemistry. Okay.
Mm,
Okay. Pretty
I
good.
think it's good. I think it's okay.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. Um. Anything else that you're working on now?
No.
No. Okay. So you don't have any other kind of projects or anything going on? No?
Yeah. Yeah. The latest exams is just physics and chemistry.
Oh, okay. Uh and I know there's no holidays. Anything else extracurricular? Are you playing any basketball, doing anything fun?
Mm,
Swimming?
mm, Nothing special. It's just I just have chance to play basketball at school.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Not on the weekend anywhere.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah. I don't have time.
No time. Okay. Yeah, I know it's probably more it's difficult now. Maybe during the holidays you'll get some time to play, but okay. Um, hey, look what I have on this screen. This series called Warriors. Have you read it? Have you heard of it?
Warriors.
Uh-huh.
Uh, no.
You
Warriors into
I guess only reason is I had another student from China who read this, who was reading this series or who likes
it's
this
just
series.
it's about animals.
Yeah. Well, it's about this. I know it's about this cat, but it's like in the forest, but I think it's also in the genre of like fantasy, maybe some science fiction, but um he really liked it. And it's another he's about your age and he really liked this series, but he said they're hard to find. And he read I think three or four of them in English, but he just had a hard time getting the books. But there's something like maybe 15 or even 20 of these books in a series. So I didn't know. I didn't know if you wanted to. I mean, I think it would be.
How's the difficulty? Is this is it hard? Is it hard?
No, I don't think it's like the three bodies. I don't think it's that. I don't even think it's that difficult in level. Um, but I think it would be something that you would be able to um, follow, quite easily. And maybe and if you like them, only because I belong to this website, or I guess this site, this app called Scribed, right? And it's all books, whether they're written or in audio or something like that. And there's a lot of different kinds of educational books on this site as well, but I have unlimited that I can use, that I can read, and it's not like I'm not limited to one book at a time. I can have 10 if I want. But when he told me about it, I wanted to see if I had access to that on my site, which I do. So and I know we really need to practice reading, and I thought maybe we could try this. You want to try this book and see if you like it?
308 pages.
Yeah, that's not very much. Don't look at the total number of pages. But a lot. I mean, some of that is like table of contents and stuff like that. But that was the
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna try.
you want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Just take a look at first.
okay. We're gonna go. So there's 25 chapters. Okay, 25 chapters. But No big deal. Okay, so there's an empty page. There's an empty page. Okay, and there's the, I guess the characters. Okay. And I don't think that's really. I mean, we can look at them if you want to take a look at all of them, but we could just kind of figure it out as we read as well. I mean, we'll get, you know, I think as we get going through the story, you'll kind of figure out. But this is good for you to figure out the characters as you're reading, going along. This can kind of, I mean, if you want, if you like it. The only thing is I can't share this book with you because, like I said, I have a membership and I can't give you a site to go on and you bring it up. But you could take like a picture of this so you would have the characters in your mind. You know, you could always refer back to them if you couldn't remember. I don't think you're going to be introduced to all the characters in chapter 1. So, all right. So let's continue. And there's 2 pages of characters. And this is, I guess, is showing a picture of the map of where everything is taking place. But here's the first page of it. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally closed my iPad.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead and log back.
Yeah, to unlock it.
Okay.
Ma?
Iya.
哎呦，我靠，能不管。行。Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. You can see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's chapter 1, and let's go ahead and just we'll read this today, and you just tell me, and if you like it, we'll continue. If not, we're going to go back to like articles, like in newspapers and things like that. But I think you might like the book. And the words are not difficult, but once again, I mean, like I said,
I think a few of it, a little bit hard.
You think the words are hard?
A little bit. Some verbs.
Well, but this is what we were talking about last week, Bob. The only way you're really gonna get more familiar with more vocabulary and what things mean is you have to see it in text. You have to see it somewhere. And where do you see it? You usually see it in books, you know, when you read. And it's very common for you to come across words that you're not familiar with because, you know, if you don't hear it, how are you going to know it, right? So this is a way to get exposure to new words, and you learn them as you're reading, and then you understand it in context because you see it written in a sentence. Oh, okay, that's what it means. Such as, let me ask you on that first sentence, okay? It says a half moon glowed on smooth granite boulders, turning them silver. Are there any words up there that you're not familiar with?
2 of them.
Well, tell me.
Granite boulders.
Okay. Granite is a type of rock. Okay, that's all it is. Granite is a type of rock. And a boulder is like a big rock. Boulders are big. It's not like a little rock. They're huge. Okay, so now we know we're talking about a type of rock that's big. So a half moon glowed on a smooth, big rock. That's basically what it's saying. On a granite. And that moon shining on it, glowing on it, is turning them silver. Well, we know silver, it's a color, right? And the light
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the moon would be that. Okay, so I mean, that's what we encounter. But now you just learned 2 new words. Granite is a type of rock, and now you know a boulder is a huge rock. It's not a little rock, it's not a pebble, it's not a stone, it's a boulder. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Mm. My English teacher recommended us to read an English book by ourselves, and I give a recommendation to others, and maybe to report it, just to report it. I think this book is better than my book.
You think it's better than your
I
book?
want to change. I want to change.
You want to change.
Yeah, I want to change to this book to finish my report.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's called the whole series is called Warriors, and this is the very first one in the series. And from what my other student said, he says you don't have to read them in order because they're all different. Each one is different, and one doesn't pick up where the other one left off. So, which is good because, you know, if you wanted to start with number 3, I just wanted to start with number 1 because I just wanted to, usually in series, in books, I always think the first book is the best. Not that it's the best out of everything, but it gives you the basis, you know, and it sets everything up, and then you remember characters and settings and things like that, and then that carries you on to the next book, and then you have some familiarity with it. So, and this one was kind of hard to find on this site, but I found it, and so I said, okay, let's start off with this one.
I think I can buy it online.
Yeah, you I'm sure you can buy it. Sure, you can buy it, and you would have an ebook. I'm sure it'd be fine. But if you want, I mean, like I said, it's I think it's good. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I think this book has more descriptions about like environment and
Yeah,
appearance.
it really does. And the thing is, you just have to read it slowly so you absorb it in your head. That really is. I'm not a proponent, meaning I don't favor fast reading. I could care less if somebody could read fast, but if you can read fast, yet you can't recall what you read or remember. When I say recall, I mean remember. Then it's pointless. And I really think reading slowly, especially when you're reading out loud, you absorb it more. And what I mean by that is I mean by you take it in more. You remember it. It resonates with you. You understand it easier. So let's take a look at this. And I'm going to have you, like I said, I'm going to have you read this. We're going to read today this first chapter. I don't know if we'll get through the whole chapter, but at least it'll give you an idea if you like it, if you want to continue. Okay.
Mm.
And if you want, Bob, just because we looked at the characters, if you have a phone and you want to take a picture of the characters, so you can look at those later and see who they are again. If you want to, refer back to them, like, who was ThunderClan, who was Tiger Rock, blah blah, Tiger Claw. I mean,
Mm.
Do you want to do that? You want to take a picture of those
Yeah.
2 pages of characters? Okay, let's go back to before we start reading. That way you can kind of always refer back to them. Let's take a picture of these 2 pages.
Mm. Okay, I got it.
You got that one? Okay.
Yeah.
And let's take the next one.
Okay.
You got that one too. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot. There's a lot of, and it would be hard to remember those until you kept reading and reading and reading, and then you'd be familiar with who they are. But for the first time, that would be probably difficult. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Okay. And read it slowly. Yeah.
A half moon glowed on smooth granite boulders, turning them silver. The silence was broken only by the ripple of water from the swift black river and the whisper of trees in the forest beyond. There was a stirring in the shadows, and from all around, what is that?
Take a look at that.
Live.
Uh-huh. You see
Lith.
that word? Yeah. So we're saying you pronounce that lith. Mm-hmm. And it just means, and all that means is it's easily bent.
Okay. All around with dark shapes, crept stealthily over the rocks. Mm-hmm. Unshelved claws glinted in the moonlight. Wary eyes flashed like amber. And then, as if on a silent signal, the creatures leaped at each other, and suddenly the rocks were alive with resting, screeching cats. At the center of the frenzy of fur and claws, a massive dark tabby pinned a bracken-colored Tom to the ground and drew up his head triumphantly.
Hold on. Triumphantly. Now we're going to go over a couple. Yeah, we're going to go over a couple of those words.
Triumphantly.
Yeah, triumphantly.
Is it what's the meaning of this word? Slowly?
Okay. No, triumphantly is like a winner. Like when you triumph, you won the battle. Hold on. There's a word there though. It says pinned a bracken-colored Tom, Tom, to the ground, and he drew his head up triumphantly. Do you know what a Tom is? Tom.
Is it body part?
No, it is and unless you know cats, a Tom is a male cat.
Oh,
okay.
Male.
And yeah, just a male cat. A female. It's a male cat, and that would make sense because we're talking about. It looks like they're fighting, right? It looks like some cats are fighting, screeching cats. And then he drew up his head, meaning he raised his head up triumphantly, meaning like he won.
Okay? Oh, he won a battle, right? Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hurt. The tabby growled. How dare you hunt in your territory?
In our territory.
In our territory, the sunny rocks belong to ThunderClan. After tonight, Tiger Claw, this will be just another RiverClan hunting ground. The bracken-colored Tom spat back. A warning yell came from the shore, shrill and anxious. Look out, more RiverClan warriors are coming. Tiger Cloud turned to see sleek, wet bodies sliding out of the water below the rocks. The drenched RiverClan warriors bounded silently up the shore and hurled themselves into battle without even stopping to shake the water from their fur. The dark tabby glared down at Oakhart.
Hold on. Oakhart.
At Oakhart, you may swim like others, but you and your warriors do not belong in this forest. He drew back his lips and showed his teeth as the cat struggled beneath him. The desperate scream of the ThunderClan she-cat rose above the clamor. A worried RiverClan Tom had pinned the brown warrior flat on her belly. Now he lunged toward her neck was Jaws. Jaws was still dripping from his swim across the river. Tiger Claw heard the cry and let go of Oakhart.
Mhm.
With a mighty leap, he knocked the enemy warrior away from the she-cat. Quick, Mousefur, run, he ordered, before turning on the River Clan Tom, who had threatened her. Mousefur
No, hold on.
scrambled.
No, hold on.
What?
There's a period after. There's a period after her. Don't run into blending those words together. You read it like River Clan Tom, who had threatened her. Mousefur, no, who had threatened her. Now we're on a new sentence. Mousefur scrambled to her paws. Okay, because it won't make sense if you don't stop at punctuation.
Okay. Who had threatened her. Mousefur scrambled to her paws, wincing from a deep gash on her shoulder, and raced away. Behind her, Tiger Claw spat with rage as the River Clan Tom sliced open his nose. Blood blinded him for an instant, but he lunged forward regardless and sank his teeth into the hind leg of his enemy. Hind leg.
Uh-huh.
Hind leg of his enemy. The River Clan cats squealed and struggled free. Tiger Claw, the yell came from the warrior with a tail as red as fox fur. This is useless. There are too many River Clan warriors. No, Redtail, ThunderClan will never be beaten. Tiger Claw yelled back, leaping to Redtail's side. This is our territory. Blood was welling around his broad black muzzle, and he shook his head impatiently, scattering scarlet drops onto the rocks. ThunderClan will honor your courage, Tiger Claw, but we cannot afford to lose any more of our warriors, Redtail urged. Blue Star will never expect her warriors to fight against these impossible odds. We will have another chance to avenge this defeat. He met Tiger Claw's amber-eyed gaze steadily, then reared away and sprang onto the boulder at the edge of the trees. Retreat, ThunderClan, retreat, he yelled. At once his warriors screamed and struggled away from their opponents, spitting and sneering, their back toward Redtail with a heartbeat. The River Clan cats looked confused. Was the battle so easily won? The Knockheart yelled and
Yelled. Okay, hold on,
what?
Bob, hold on. Only because I want you to understand that question mark. And you didn't read it like that. He's questioning. He's saying, it says, for a heartbeat, the River Clan cats looked confused. Was this battle so easily won? You're asking that question. Then Oakhart yowled a jubilant cry, meaning a really like a loud and okay. So look at the punctuation because that will make sense. Okay, go ahead.
As soon as they heard him, the River Clan warriors raised their voices and joined their duty in caterwauling their victory. Redtail looked down at his warriors with a flick of his tail. He gave the signal.
Okay. Oh, so now we'll go to the next page. So, and I don't expect you to know every single little detail, but give me kind of like just a short recap. What's going on?
There's two groups of cats fighting with each other.
Okay. And they're fighting over territory, right? What's territory? Hey, this is our territory. What does that mean?
This is a territory, to decide this place is belong to. Who is belong.
Exactly. Okay, so we have all these different names of cats, and that's why I'm saying that picture that you took of all the identity of that, it'll break it out a little bit more. As far as you'll remember them, because there's so many mentioned at one time. We know the big one is Tiger Claw, right? Tiger Claw, that's a good one. We know that one. And there's one clan that's called River Clan, right? They're all warriors, they're all cats, but they all have different names. And some of them are part of the River Clan warriors. And then we have the Thunder Clan, that's another group. And within that group, we have different cats. And that'll be hard to, like I said, it's hard to remember until you read it for a while, who's who. Okay, so we have Red Tail, which we know is another name, looked down at his warriors. And with the flick of his tail, he gave the signal. Okay, now we're on the next page.
And the Thunder Clan cats dived down the far side of the sunny rocks, then disappeared into the trees. Tiger Claw followed last. He hesitated at the edge of the forest and glanced back at the blood-stained battlefield. His face was grim, his eyes filled with slits. Then he leaped after his clan into the silent forest. In the deserted clearing, an old gray she-cat sat alone, staring up at the clear night sky. All around her in the shadows, she could hear the breathing and stirring of sleeping cats. A small tortoise's head.
Tortoiseshell. Tortoiseshell is, it's just a type of color. Think of a tortoise, a turtle. They have those like little circle type of spots, and they're like usually like brown and black, and maybe like a light brown.
Tortoise.
Yeah, tortoise shell. It's really pretty, but they're just describing what she looked like, right? A small tortoise shell she cat. So we know that's a female.
Tortoise. Oh. A small tortoiseshell she-cat emerged from a dark corner, her pale steps quick and soundless. The gray cat dipped her head in greeting. "How is Mousefur?" he meowed.
She meowed. Meow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Her ones are deep, Blue Star, answered the tortoiseshell, settling herself on the night cool grass. When she is young and strong, you will heal quickly. And the others, they will all recover too. Blue Star signed. We are lucky not to have lost any of our warriors this time. You are a gifted medicine cat, Spotted Leaf. He tilted her head again and studied the stars. I'm deeply troubled by tonight's defeat. Thunder Clan has not been beaten in its own territory since I became leader. He murmured. These are difficult times for our clan. The season of new leaf is late, and there have been fewer kids. Thunder Clan needs more warriors if it is to survive.
Hold on,
but
stop. I got to give you, because you need, this is important, that word, kits. What is
small
that?
Cats.
Yeah, little kittens. Okay, all right, go ahead.
But the year is only just beginning. Spotted Leaf pointed out calmly. There will be more kids when Greenleaf comes. The gray cat twitched her broad shoulders. Perhaps, but training our young to become warriors takes time. If Thunder Clan is to defend its territory, it must have new warriors as soon as possible. Are you asking Star Clan for answers? Meowed Spotted Leaf gently, following Blue Star's gaze and staring up at a sweat of stars glittering in the dark sky. It is at times like this we need the words of ancient warriors to help us. Has Star Clan spoken to you? Blue Star asked. Not for some moons, Blue Star. Suddenly a shooting star blazed over the treetops. Spotted Leaf's tail twitched and the fur along her spine briskly. Brist,
Bristle,
bristle.
bristled.
Blue Star's ears pricked when she remained silent as Spotted Leaf continued to gaze upwards. After a few moments, Spotted Leaf lowered her head and turned to Blue Star. It was a message from Starkland, she murmured. A distant look came into her eyes. Fire alone can save our clan. Fire? Blue Star echoed. But fire is feared by all the clans. How can it save us? Spotted Leaf shook her head. I do not know, she admitted, but this is the message Starkland has chosen to share with me. The Thunder Clan leader fixed her clear blue eyes on the medicine cat. You have never been wrong before, Spotted Leaf, she meowed. If Starkland has spoken, then it must be so. Fire will save our clan.
Okay. All right. And so that is chapter, that's the prologue. Okay. Now we'll start into the actual story. And a prologue is a kind of like the beginning of a series or even a book. And it kind of gives you the background of everything. So that, this way is, we kind of know there's a couple of different clans. There's a lot of different cats mentioned in here, and they're obviously all struggling or trying to claim territory, right? I mean, that's what cats do. That's what wild animals do. So this is just kind of setting it up for you and just telling you a little bit about everything. And like I said, there's a lot to remember as far as the names of all these characters. But since you have that picture for reference, I think it'll help you. Okay. How do you like it so far, though?
And great, but the name is hard to be recognized.
Yeah, I mean, they will be until you get familiar with the, with the series, with the story. I don't believe they're going to change, a lot. I mean, you're probably going to lose some, sure, in fights and battles and stuff like that. But and there'll probably be new ones that are introduced. But at least in this first series, in book number 1, those are all the characters that are in it. And I don't think they're gonna, you're not gonna get any new ones. So if you kind of study those or refer back to them, you'll kind of get an idea. But I'm just saying overall, I think the reading, as far as the words and stuff, I think those are totally doable for you. You are going to pick up a lot of new words, which is good. I mean, do you think it's something that you'll have an interest in?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think so. Okay, let's read chapter 1. Let's see where it goes. Okay. And this will be, I mean, I haven't heard the word rusty yet, so this is something new, a new one. I think that's the main character. Hello. Uh-oh. Hey, Bob.
网络有问题啊？
好了，重接上了。Hello.
Hello. There you are. Are you okay? Internet problems?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
Chapter 1. It was very dark. Rusty could sense something was near. The young tomcat's eyes opened wide as he scanned the dense undergrowth. This place was unfamiliar, but a strange sense drew him onward, deeper into the shadows. His stomach growled, reminding
Like he's hungry.
him of his hunger. He opened his jaws slightly and let the warm smells of the forest reach the scent glands on the roof of his mouth. Musty odors of leaf mold mingled with the tempting aroma of a small fairy creature. Suddenly, a flash of grape raced past him. Rusty stopped still, listening. It was hiding in the leaves less than 2 tail limbs away. Rusty knew it was a mouse. He could feel the rapid pulsing of a tiny heart deep within his ear fur. He swallowed, stifling his rumbling stomach. Soon his hunger would be satisfied. Slowly he lowered his body into position, crouching for the attack. He was downwind of the mouse. He knew it was not aware of him. With one final check on his prey's position, Rusty pushed back hard on his haunches and sprang, kicking up leaves on the forest floor as he rose. The mouse dived for cover, heading toward a hole in the ground, but Rusty was already on top of it. He scooped it into the air, hooking the helpless creature with his thorn-sharp claws, flinging it up in a high arc onto the leaf-covered ground. The mouse landed dazed, but alive. It tried to run, but Rusty snatched it up again. He tossed the mouth once more, this time a little farther away. The mouse managed to scramble a few paces before Rusty caught up with it. Suddenly a noise rolled nearby. Rusty looked around, and as he did so, the mouse was able to pull away from the clouds. When Rusty turned back, he saw it dart into the darkness among the tangled roots of the tree. Angry, Rusty gave up the hunt. He spun around, his green eyes glaring, intent on searching out the noise that had cost him his kill. The sound rattled on, becoming more familiar. Rusty blinked, opened his eyes. The forest had disappeared. He was inside a hot and airless kitchen, curled in his bed. Moonlight flittering through the window, casting shadows on the smooth, hard floor. The noise had been the rattle of hard, dried pellets of food as they were tipped into his dish. Rusty had been dreaming. Lifting his head, he rested his chin on the side of his bed. His collar rubbed uncomfortably around his neck. In his dream, he had felt fresh air ruffling the soft fur where the collar usually pinched. Rusty rolled onto his back, savoring the dream for the few more moments. He could still smell mouse. It was the third time since full moon that he had had a dream, and every time the man had escaped his grasp. He licked his lips. From his bed he could smell the bland odor of his food. His owners always refilled his dish before they went to bed. The dusty smell chased away the warm scent of his dream, but a hunger rubbed on in his stomach. So Rusty rumbled on in his stomach. So Rusty stretched the sleep out of his limbs and patted it across the kitchen floor to his dinner. The food felt dry and tasteless on his tongue. Rusty reluctantly swallowed.
Hold on. Reluctantly.
Reluctantly swallowed one more mouthful. Then he turned away from the food dish and pushed his way out through the cat flap, hoping that the smell of the garden would bring back the feelings from his dream. Outside, the moon was bright. It was raining lightly. Rusty stalked down at the tidy garden, following the starlit gravel path, feeling the stones cold and sharp beneath his paws. He made his dirt beneath a large bush with glossy green leaves and heavy purple flowers. Their sickly sweet scent cloyed the damp air around him.
Okay. Now, tell me what is happening in this first chapter. Who is Rusty?
Who is Rusty? Who is Rusty?
Yeah, who is Rusty? Okay.
Who?
Yeah. Who is Rusty and where is Rusty?
He was in a kitchen.
Okay. So is Rusty what is Rusty? Is he a cat? Is he a dog? What is he? Is he a turtle? Is he a horse? What is Rusty? Who is Rusty?
A cat.
He's a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. And is Rusty a warrior? Remember we read those 2 pages of
Yeah.
Is he? No. Rusty is a house cat. He belongs to somebody.
Oh.
He belongs to these owners. That's why he has that dry food. I mean, in that whole second column here, he was dreaming of catching that mouse. Okay, it says, it starts off, Rusty could sense something was near. La la la. It starts talking about the talking about the mouse, blah blah blah. Mouse got away, and finally, you see in the second page, it says this is a dream, right? And then he lifts his head, and he has a collar on. Well, you wouldn't have a collar on unless you were owned by somebody. Wild cats are never going to have a collar around their neck, right? In this paragraph here, it says he could still smell the mouse. It was the 3rd time since full moon that he had this dream. And every time the mouse had escaped his grasp, meaning his clutches, his claws, right? He licked his lips. From the bed, he could smell the bland odor of his food. Bland means no scent. It's boring. There's no taste. His owners always refilled his dish before they went to bed. So he belongs to somebody. He's a house cat.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you this because this is the start of it, and it's important that you are understanding what you're reading. He stretched out his limbs, which are his legs, his paws, right, and padded across the kitchen floor to his dinner. The food felt dry and tasteless on his tongue. He reluctantly, there's a word there. What does that mean? Reluctantly. Rusty reluctantly swallowed one more mouthful. What does that word mean? Reluctantly.
reluctantly. Well, I don't know. I just guess it. Forced forced itself
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
it.
Yeah, he didn't want to, but it's all I have. I better finish eating this. It's boring. It doesn't taste any good, but it's what I have. So he reluctantly swallowed one more mouthful. Then he turned away from the food dish and pushed his way through the cat flap. The cat flap, a flap is what a lot of people will have in their door to go outside. I don't know if you ever seen that. There's like a
Small
door.
door.
It's like a small little door within a door. Yeah. And the cat,
Oh,
they can come and go as they please. And he's obviously going out there to go do his business, to go potty, right? So he goes through the cat into the garden and, he's smelling all the different smells and stuff like that. But that's where he is now. Okay. So Rusty's a house cat and he's right now he's, in the backyard. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So the sickly sweet scent cloyed the damp air around him, and I'll have you read a little bit more.
He curled his lip to dry the smell out of his nostrils. Afterward, Rusty settled down on top of one of the posts in the fence that marked the limits of his garden. It was a favorite spot of his, as he could see right into the neighboring gardens, as well as into the dense green forest on the other side of the garden fence. The rain had stopped. Behind him, the close-cropped land was bathed in moonlight. But beyond his fence, the woods were full of shadows. Rusty scratched his head forward to take a sniff of the damp air. His skin was warm and dry under his thick coat, but he could feel the weight of the raindrops that sparkled,
Sparkle.
sparkled on his
Ginger fur.
ginger fur.
That's his color. Like an orangey color.
He heard his honors giving him one last call from the back door. If he went to them now, they would greet him with gentle words and carelessness.
No. Caresses.
Caresses.
Caresses are strokes, like petting your cat. A caress. Okay.
Gentle words and caresses and welcomed him onto their bed, where he was purring warm in the crook of the bed.
Okay, hold on. Where he would curl, purring, warm. Purring.
In the
like,
crook of bed knee. But this time Rusty ignored his honor's voice and turned his gaze back to the forest. The crisp smell of the woods had grown fresher after the rain. Suddenly the fur on his spine prickled. Was something move out there?
Moving out there.
Watching him? Moving out there. Was something watching him? Rusty stared ahead, but it was impossible to see or smell anything in the dark. Tree-scented air, he lifted in the dark tree-scented air.
He lifted his chin boldly.
He lifted his chin boldly, stood up, and stretched, one paw gripping each corner of the fence post as he straightened his legs and arched his back. He closed his eyes and breathed in the smell of the woods once more. It seemed to promise him something, tempting him onward into the whispering shadows. Tensing his muscles, he crouched for a moment. Then he leaped lightly down into the rough grass on the other side of the garden fence. As he landed, the bell on his collar rang out through the still night air. "Where are you off to, Rusty?" Mewed a familiar voice behind him. Rusty looked up. A young black and white cat was balancing and gracefully on the fence. "Hello, Smudge," Rusty replied. You're not going to go into the woods, are you?" Sandra's amber eyes were huge. Just for a look, Rusty promised, shifting uncomfortably. You wouldn't get me in there. It's dangerous. Smudge winked his
Smudge.
black.
The name is Smudge. Mhm.
Smudge wrinkled his black nose, wrinkled his black nose with
Distaste.
distaste. Henry said he went into the woods once. The cat lifted his head and gestured with his nose over the rows of fences toward the gardens where Henry lived. The fat old tabby never went into the woods, Rusty scoffed. He's hardly been beyond his own garden since his trip to the vet. All he wants to do is eat and sleep. No, really, he caught a robin there. Smooth insisted. Well, if he did, then it was before the vet. Now he complains about birds because they disturb his dozing. Well, anyway, Smudge went out, ignoring the scorn in Rusty's meal. Henry told me there are all sorts of dangerous animals out there. Huge wildcats who eat live rabbits for breakfast and sharpened claws and old bones. I'm only going for a look around. Rusty mewed. I won't stay long. Well, don't say I didn't warn you, purred Smudge. The black and white cat turned and plugged up the fence back down into his own garden. Rusty sat down in the coarse grass beyond the garden fence. He gave his shoulder a nervous lick and wondered how much of Smudge's gossip was true. Suddenly, the movement of a tiny creature caught his eye. He watched it scatter under some brambles. Instinct made him drop into a low crouch. With one slow pow after another, he drew his body forward through the undergrowth. Ears pricked, nostril flared, eyes unblinking. He moved toward the animal. He could see it clearly now, sitting up among the barbed branches, nibbling on a large seed held between its paws. It was a mouse. Rusty rocked his hands from side to side, preparing to leap. He held his breath. He held his breath in case his bell rang again. Excitement coursed through him, making his.
Okay. Hey, so it's getting exciting now. Who are the two cats talking in this dialogue here for the most part?
Rusty and Smudge.
And there's a couple of things that you should just know, just so you have kind of a reference to it. A couple of times she was talking about the tabby never wanting to go into the woods because he changed ever since he came back from the vet. The vet is the animal doctor, the veterinarian. Okay. And what happens for many cats, owners take their cats and dogs to veterinarians to have them spayed or neutered. And do you know what that means? Have you ever heard of those words, or do you have an idea what that is? When people take their animals to the vets when they're very young to be spayed or neutered. Spayed is what they do to a female, and neutering is what they do to a male. And that basically is so they can't procreate. Okay, so they alter them so they can't procreate or give birth anymore. They can't mate. Okay, and so when you do that to an animal, it changes their behavior. It changes their personality. And like what she was talking there, all he wants to do is, he doesn't want to chase things anymore. So when cats have been altered, that's a name for another name for spayed or neutering, their whole behavior changes. They're not wild anymore. But Rusty obviously hasn't been. That's why he wants to see what's out in the woods, and he wants to explore. So this is the beginning of it. So Rusty is a normal house cat. He has no idea about these warriors yet. Okay. And so, and haunches are his back legs. So Rusty rocked his haunches. It's kind of like his back legs from side to side before he was preparing to leap to catch that mouse. And he didn't want his bell ringing, the bell that's on his collar. And that would, because that would alert the mouse, and the mouse would be able to escape. Okay, so is it all making, this all makes sense?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, you like it?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay, well, all right, so we're going to continue on with this then next week, and we'll pick up here. So he's just preparing to leave his home, and he wants to see what's out in that forest. And so he's the mouse is stirring his curiosity, and we'll see what happens. Okay, any last minute questions? I think you're going to like this. I think this is going to be really good for you.
对啊，没结束。
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With that, hey, Bob, have a great weekend. Good job today, and we'll continue on with this, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you next week. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Bob.